I'm visiting Port Stephens on the New South Wales coast, a holiday haven a few hours' drive north of Sydney. It's also home to a koala population fighting for survival. And today I have the absolute privilege of joining locals on the front line of koala rescue and rehabilitation. So, what happened to this lovely lady?
Okay, so she was hit by a car at Boat Harbour. So she's had a bit of surgery on her nose and she had a beautiful baby, but she's doing so well. I became a rescuer because of living in Soldiers Point, and there are a few koalas in that area. Car strike can be a big factor, and I've probably brought in 20 plus now.
At the heart of the hospital are people and plants. Eucalyptus, to be specific.
Look at this. See all that?
Yeah, wow.
They've eaten all that. Sits there.
Growing the gums is done by a small team who have the almighty task of looking after a few plantations that are specifically for koala food. Aaron Crowe is showing me round one of their established plantations.
For every koala we have, we need to have 1,000 trees. Our main source at the moment is plantations. We go leafing 3 days a week. Each koala needs 2 fresh branches a day, so you could only imagine what that equals when we have 30 koalas in care at once.
That's a lot over the course of a year.
It's a lot.
To be continually harvesting koala food, they're using every horticultural trick in the book to get the most out of the gums.
So we do pollard our trees on the plantation side here. So basically what we do is just cut them off about hip height there on a 45-degree angle, just so the water runs off, and just allow it to grow back. As you can see, the regrowth on it is amazing.
People probably aren't aware that koalas can't eat just any eucalyptus.
No, that's correct. So they only eat about 10% of the species of eucalyptus. Here in Port Stephens, they'll only eat robusta and terraticornis are their main species. But if you went 100 k's up the road to tea gardens, they'll tend to eat a lot more spotted gum and other species. And when they come into the hospital from those areas, we have to keep with their diet just for their gut health.
Okay, that's the red pot.
Thank you.
We have 3 different types of pots in the yard, and we rotate those on a daily basis. The pots are all colour-coded with reference to how fresh the leaf is, and so the first thing we do is go and grade that leaf as to how much the koala's eaten, so we get a feel for what their appetite's been like, what leaf they've been eating, and then that gives us a record that we can have a look at the patterns for the last sort of few weeks.
Well, these are Eddie's. Mary, what do you think?
They're pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah, that's a good size.
Yep.
Now, it's not just feeding the koalas here, it's also counting scats.
Scat collection is really important. So every day we have to count every scat in the yard for that koala, and then we give it a rating between 1 and 5. So any koala that has under 100 scat, we have to identify the koala and we have to let the vet team know, because it means that something's starting to go wrong with their gut, and when a koala's gut's not working properly, that's when they can have other issues.
I'm finding out more about how koalas digest their diet of gum leaves with Dr. Donald Hudson, veterinarian at the hospital.
The leaf itself has a lot of cellulose, a lot of fibre, a lot of carbohydrates, even fats in the eucalyptus, and the koalas have got an excellent liver that can digest those toxic chemicals, but what the leaves really lack is nitrogen, and so that whole big belly is full of a fermentation vat to try and get that last bit of nitrogen out of the leaf, and they ferment in order to produce protein, and without that protein they can't survive. The mother will pass down that biome through the pap to her baby, and then the baby will be well suited to eat the leaf in their area, and then they'll eat the right leaves to keep it healthy, whether it's more fibre one day or more sugar the next day. The babies and the adults are really good at choosing the right ones through the smell, but they really are very picky about it.
Yeah, and that might vary from day to day, from week to week, yeah?
Not just that, from region to region. You can't take one koala from another region and expect it to eat the local trees there. They're used to the ones they have. It's part of the problem we have. If we lose them in one area, it's very hard to bring them back.
Ron Land got the idea to build the hospital nearly a decade ago.
We estimate there could be as little as 250 wild koalas in Port Stephens, but no more than 400. And that puts them at the scientifically accepted precipice for ongoing survival. The New South Wales Scientific Committee found in 2017, unless there was dramatic intervention in Port Stephens, koalas would be extinct in the wild here within a decade, and so that means 2027.
Around here, changes to the environment have been one of the big things. So the wrong sort of development where we're just cutting down all the trees. The major disease we see is chlamydia. We tend to get peaks of it when there's like an insult to the environment around them. So a lot of big development in the area will get a push up of the disease. The disease has been around for a long time, and it can be lethal to koalas.
Whilst the rehabilitation carries on at the hospital, Aaron's caring for the next crop of koala food at a plantation on the edge of the suburbs.
So we have about 200 robustas in this location.
Sort of backs onto a fair bit of bushland here by the looks of things.
Yeah, so this is actually a koala corridor through here, one of the last ones in Port Stephens. We've released multiple koalas in this location, and that's our main goal, is to try and get the sick koalas healthy and then straight back out into the bush.
Summer is a peak time for wildlife rescue, when holidaymakers hit the roads. All over the country, rescue groups are on call.
So if someone would find a koala on the side of the road in a busy, unsuitable environment, don't touch it, but obviously stay safe yourself. You can call us anytime, 24/7. We will come out, check out that koala and make sure that it's okay. We do want people to stop, because even if mum has, passed away, there may be a joey. We need to go out there as soon as possible and check that koala.
Just being around them makes you feel really good.
It does, yeah.
So when you're on holidays this summer, please look after each other and our precious wildlife. Take a leaf out of the Koala's book. Slow down and relax in nature.